Welcome to the wonderful county of Williamsburg, South Carolina. I'm Mark Roberts, and behind me is the Thorntree House, part of the original Thorntree plantation. And today on City Showcase, I'm going to take you behind the scenes in Kingstree, South Carolina. That's the Thorntree's native home. I'm going to show you what brings visitors around here and why the locals call it home. Join me if you have a minute, and let's take a look at your backyard in Kingstree, South Carolina.
Friendly.
Easy.
Loving and peaceful.
Well, I have to say two words: sportsman's paradise.
I would say the people. I like the people of Kingstree.
I'm the director of the Williamsburg Historical Museum in Kingstree. We've been in this building approximately 9 years. Williamsburg Township was settled in 1732 by Scotch-Irish settlers. The township enjoyed economic success through the raising and processing of indigo. The town's name goes back to an early landmark, a tall pine that was situated on a high bluff overlooking Black River, known as the Kingstree. King George directed that the straightest and biggest, tallest of all white pines were to be marked with an arrow to show they were reserved for his naval stores. During the Revolutionary War, Kingstree was the site of encampments by British and Patriot forces. British Colonel Bannister Tarleton used the area as a camp, and General Francis Marion rallied his troops there as well. The area saw its share of action, including the Battle of Kingstree. This was the original Carnegie Library, built in 1917, and when the town built a new library, we were able to use this building as the museum. We have a collection of things pertaining to Williamsburg County. Everything we have is either on loan or been donated to the museum. We have a lot of farm tools, photographs. We have a 1800 dugout boat. It's hand carved out of one cypress tree. And the unusual thing is most of the boats in this area were flat wooden boats. But this boat has a rudder on the front and the back, and we feel like it was used to carry crops downriver to Georgetown. We have an old grand piano that was used for the first concert to raise money for the Episcopal Church. It's 1857, I believe. We had a traveling Smithsonian exhibit here 4 years ago on barns. And so we have a wonderful collection of barn photographs from all over Williamsburg County. We have Indian artifacts, old storefronts, high school annuals, military books, and we have quite a nice genealogical research department downstairs. We have the County Record newspaper on microfilm back to 1897, up to 2006 now, and where people can research their ancestry by obituaries and marriage write-ups, and we have those indexed. We have a lot of family history books, census records, deed books, cemetery surveys, that sort of things. We operate on our membership dues. We are open to the public 3 days a week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 10 until 3.
The courthouse of Williamsburg County stands as a very historical place because of the originality of being a Robert Mills construction. In addition, it's one of the prettiest courthouses that we were told within the state of South Carolina. And most citizens, we feel very proud to still have an original courthouse. According to the records that was written by Miss Mary Reed, who did a lot of research here in Williamsburg County, she was a historian. There was a fire that burnt the original courthouse, which was a wooden building at the time. After the burning of the original courthouse, the General Assembly and several concerned Williamsburg County citizens saw the need to construct a new building. At that time, the General Assembly appropriated $10,000 for a project to build an original Robert Mills building, and it was done so at that time. And in 1883, the second story of the courthouse caught fire, and valuable records and books were destroyed at that time. The statue that is currently on the premises of the Williamsburg County Courthouse, it was a mistake. The statue that's out there now is a Union soldier, but the original one, that the Confederate soldier, was mistakenly shipped to another state. And the Union statue that's out there now did not belong to South Carolina, it belonged to one of the northern states. And that's how we ended up with the Union soldier, by a mistake, that they mistakenly took the one that was supposed to be shipped here was shipped elsewhere. I believe it was Massachusetts, one of the upper states.
Thorntree was the plantation house of James Witherspoon, built in 1749. It was originally located about 12 miles south of Kingstree and was moved into town in the 70s so it would have fire and police protection. James Witherspoon was buried in what's known today as the Witherspoon Cemetery on Thorntree Creek, about 1 mile from where this house was originally located. Many of the graves in the cemetery are marked with large stones which were native to Williamsburg. There are about 6 to 8 gravestones still there. The house is a very fine example of an early plantation house, a wealthy planter. The moldings in the house are exquisite. They were hand done by slaves, put together in strips, dental molding. Most of the walls have been scraped down to the original colors, as well as the moldings. The moldings in the parlor downstairs are very elaborate over the mantel. Upstairs, in the master bedroom, the molding is called sawtooth molding, which you'll be able to see. The bottom layer of the molding looks exactly like the teeth of a saw, and several other layers of dental molding are above that. Both of these two, that master bedroom and the parlor downstairs, have very elaborate over-mantel decorations. The house was moved into town in the 70s so that it would be protected by police and fire protection. That property was donated by Miss Mary Nelson, who was a descendant of the Witherspoons, and she gave that property for Thorntree to be situated on. Kingstree is a wonderful, friendly town to live in. It's a great place to raise children and grandchildren. The people are very loving and giving, interested in each other. It's centrally located between the beach and the mountains. We don't have the big city traffic, but we have access to go to larger cities anytime we please. The climate is wonderful. We don't have the big city crime in this area. It's a nice, friendly town that you can walk the streets and feel comfortable.
I was born and raised in Kingstree, and I'm proud to say I had coffee this morning with my parents, who are 86 years old, and it's just a typical day here to where it's a very slow pace of life, and it's a wonderful small community. A lot of people love the big cities, but I like to be able to live here and visit the cities. We have a few things we're famous for. Our cooking, our barbecue. We have a renowned barbecue restaurant in Kingstree, and our hunting and fishing, our sporting, our wildlife, our outdoors is great. And we feel like we're at the center of a lot of really nice places. We're an hour and a half from the beach. We're an hour and a half from historic Charleston. We can be in the mountains in 3 hours. We can be at the lakes in 45 minutes. We're very close to the places that we like to be at. So it's a wonderful little town.
It's a small community. Everybody knows everybody, and I would not live anywhere else other than Kingstree.
Williamsburg County is home. This is my home. I was born and reared here. during my earlier years, during my teens years, I did relocate to New York City, and I lived there for about 13 or 14 years. But as the song says, there's no place like home. I find Williamsburg County or Kingstree to be a very relaxing place, very loving place. You find the people here to be very warm and inviting. And most people here, we know primarily each other, and it's like a family. Basically, I think we get along well together. We have crimes like any other place, but overall, I think we have good law enforcement. And we're also proud to have our current sheriff, who is a candidate or nominee for the U.S. Marshal. So I think that speaks a lot for Williamsburg County within itself. Again, I think we are just we're also proud of our barbecue here. You would know we the barbecue kings, and we are very proud of that. But otherwise, I think just the hospitality overall is a very good place to live.
Well, there you have it, Kingstree, South Carolina, a place that literally got its name from a king's tree. Now that's just the tip of the iceberg. To really experience this place, you have to come and visit it for yourself. For more of Kingstree and the rest of this great place we call the PD, stay tuned to Channel 26. For City Showcase, I'm Mark Roberts. Thanks for joining me.